Hey y'all, for today's video, I'm going to be sharing some kid lunchbox ideas. I'm going to be packing up some school lunches for my 6 and 8-year-old. So first up, I'm going to dust off my little mini waffle maker. I honestly rarely use this thing because I just simply forget that I have it, but I did want to use it this particular morning to try out some pizza grilled cheese. We recently discovered that the kids love taking grilled cheese to school, even though it's not particularly hot. By lunchtime, they still love it. So I just wanted to try a different variation. So I got that heating up and I'm buttering up some bread. That butter was at room temperature, but it was still such a pain to spread. So last week I bought a tub of Country Crock. I haven't bought that in years, and I bought it for that particular purpose, to make it easier to butter some bread. So I did add a little bit of olive oil spray to my waffle maker. That wasn't really necessary because of the butter, but I do pack their lunches right before they head to school, so it's early. A lot of things I do don't always make sense, but I just put the bread butter side down. I added some shredded mozzarella cheese, a little bit of pizza sauce. I didn't want to go crazy because I didn't want it to be a soggy mess, and I'm adding a layer of pepperonis, trying to focus on staying in the middle because I'm going to be taking off some of the edges. I added a little bit more cheese on top, and then of course I added another piece of bread, butter side up. So I'm just pressing that down, and whatever is hanging off, I'm just kind of pinching off with my fingers to make it a perfect circle. So I just let that cook for a few minutes. I'd say maybe 4 minutes. I didn't want to get it overly brown because my kids are picky about that. It kind of just plopped on my counter, but it's all good. It's clean. But as you can see, it got, cooked on both sides. I think that looks pretty good. So I did make 2 of those, of course, and I'm just getting it added to these little Walmart containers that I recently bought and we've been loving. I think I got those for like a little less than $3, which is such a steal. In the other compartment of the container, I am giving them each some fresh strawberries, and then to Riley's, I'm going to add this little purple silicone liner, and I'm going to give her some baby carrots. Now, baby carrots are pretty hit or miss with her. Sometimes she likes them and other times she won't touch them, but I figured even if she had one, it's better than nothing. So she will only eat them raw with ranch, which I'm the same way. We love this Great Value Buttermilk Ranch. It's our current favorite store-bought ranch, and it's really cheap, so that's a bonus. So I just put it in these little disposable containers that comes with a lid. You can get those in a big pack for cheap at pretty much any store. Super handy for lunches. So Boston will not touch raw carrots yet. I keep on trying, but it's all good. Honestly, raw carrots aren't my favorite either, but I'm going to kind of substitute that with some more berries. I gave him some blueberries, and I'm going to give them each a Reese's. This is the football themed ones. We always love the theme varieties of Reese's. They're just better. They got more peanut butter. And I'm going to give them each a Good to Grow juice in the fruit punch flavor, and I was sure to tell them to bring those back. Don't let anyone throw those away because I'm going to wash those and reuse those for milk, juice, whatever. And I did go ahead and open those up for them just to save them some time since it's already so limited. I always include a napkin in their lunchbox, as well as an ice pack that I put in the little zipper pocket up top. Another reason that I really like these little Walmart containers is because they don't take up the whole lunchbox. I still have plenty of room for other things if I want to. And I did remember this morning to put the straw side up towards the handle of the lunchbox just so it's not upside down all day, even though they are pretty leak proof. And I always like to include at least once in these videos that most days they do take a water bottle to sit on their desk to sip on throughout the day. And a lot of you guys like to see what they actually do and don't eat, so I do include that in these videos. So starting with Boston, he drank all of his juice, and as you can see, he ate all of his grilled cheese. He said that he loved it. He ate about half of his berries, which kind of shocked me because he is one of those kids that can eat a large amount of berries in one sitting, but sometimes he tends to get a school lunch as well as a packed lunch. I don't know why he does that, but that would explain that, but it's okay. And then moving on to Riley, she also drank all of her juice, so I was proud of them both for bringing those back. And she did a really good job. She ate all of her strawberries. She ate a little over half of her carrots, which I was super happy about. She only left the top part of her grilled cheese because she said it looked weird, so I will just remove the crust next time. Next up, I'm going to be splitting this apple between both kiddos, and there is so many methods out there to prevent your apple slices from turning brown. I don't have a one set method for this. I just do whatever works that particular day. So as I mentioned in my last video, sometimes I don't even do anything to them. I just slice them and send them because, again, I do it right before they head out for school, and it's in an airtight container, and they're going to be eating them just a few hours later. So they really shouldn't turn that much. It's not something they've ever complained about, so I don't worry about it. Sometimes if I have apple juice, I will soak them in that, but that's not something I buy weekly, and I'm not going to buy it just for those. But the most popular method, I would say, is probably soaking it in some water with a little bit of lemon juice squeezed in. And I did so happen to have half of a lemon left over from a recipe in my fridge that needed used anyways. And I actually woke up early on this morning, so I had time to let those soak for a bit. So on that same cutting board, I just wiped it down with a paper towel, and I am starting off with Riley's lunch, and I'm going to make her some ham and cheese pinwheels. So in my last video, I used ranch dressing for the base, which she always loves. So this time I wanted to try it out with some ranch seasoned cream cheese. So I just took some cream cheese and microwaved it for a little bit, for like, I think 15 seconds, just to make it easier to spread. Sprinkled in some ranch seasoning mix and just stirred that together good, and spread that out evenly on my tortilla, making sure that every inch of it is covered. Not only is it going to add more flavor, but it's going to help everything hold together nicely. I also sprinkled on some shredded sharp cheddar cheese. The last time I made this, I used a slice of cheese down the middle, which she doesn't mind, but it drove me nuts that it wasn't covering more surface area. So if I have it, I'm going to stick to the shredded cheese for these from now on. And I'm just layering on some smoked ham. Now I'm just going to roll it up tightly, and you can send it just like this, but she does really enjoy the little pinwheels, and it just takes a few seconds to slice that up, and I just think that that looks so nice. This is definitely one of her favorite things to take to lunch, and she loves pretty much all lunch meat, so there is so many variations of these that I can make. Boston is a different story. He will not eat like cold lunch meat yet, so his lunches are a little bit more limited on what I can do. So what I like to do for my kids is I take things that I know they already love, and I just like slightly change them up. So he loves peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So to keep it a little more fun and interesting, I'm going to try out these little peanut butter and jelly roll-ups. This was my first time doing that for him. So I just took off the crust. I took a rolling pin and just flattened both pieces of bread out. And then I'm doing a good thick layer of peanut butter. If your school or class doesn't allow peanut butter, you could do this with almond butter. I think that would be good. Or you could leave off the jelly and maybe do some Nutella. I think that would be good. Or even for like a little snack. But I am going to be using some grape jelly for him. He also really likes strawberry jelly, so that's two options I could do for him. And just like with Riley's little tortilla pinwheels, I'm just tightly rolling it up, and then I'm going to cut it into little sections. So it didn't turn out as cute as I imagined in my head, but it does look like some little peanut butter and jelly pillows, and I would imagine that these will be really easy to just pick up and eat, and he did say that he really enjoyed those. So I am going to be using their bent-go containers this day, and that little divided section to the left can come out, which I really like, so I do leave it in for things like this. Now I'm going to go and drain off those apples. I did give them another rinse just to make sure they don't taste lemony. And then I did dry them off really well with a paper towel. And I'm just making sure to give them an equal amount, because if you have multiples, You know it's crucial. I'm also going to give them each a Danimal smoothie. These have been a part of my kids' life since they were a baby. They love these. They are a staple. So I'm giving Boston a strawberry kiwi and Riley a strawberry one. I'm going to give them each a string cheese. We've been buying the Ninja Turtle ones. They're just cute and colorful and fun. And I'm just going to stick it in the same compartment as the yogurt. I'm also going to give them each some colored goldfish. And as I've mentioned before, these are dye-free, which is really nice. Now let's see how the kids did. So starting off with Boston, he ate pretty much everything. He just left a small handful of goldfish. And then Riley, who always normally brings back her trash to show you guys, she ate absolutely everything. So they both did awesome. I'm sure that most of y'all have seen how to do the homemade pizza Lunchables, but maybe there is at least one person watching who hasn't, and I'm here to tell y'all they are so delicious. Not only do the kids love them, but Josh and I do too. And I'm going to tell y'all another way that we use up these little non-rounds is sometimes for a snack we'll put peanut butter and jelly on them and top them with fresh strawberries and bananas. It is the best little snack. I buy my non-rounds from Kroger, and I also wanted to mention, if you're new to buying them, they mold really quickly. So if you don't plan on using them up within a few days after you buy them, pop them in the freezer. They freeze really great. And then you can just thaw them and use them as needed. So I finally bought the popular little squeeze containers from the Dollar Tree. This was my first time getting to use those. So of course I filled them with pizza sauce, and I'm going to give them each a plastic spoon to spread those out. And then I just use whatever cheese is open in the fridge. This day, it just so happened to be some Colby Jack shredded cheese. I'm also going to give them a good little handful of pepperonis, and I'm just going to stick it in that same section as the shredded cheese. Another reason that I really love packing them, these little homemade Lunchables, is they come together within minutes. Like if you are running late, this is a good go-to lunch to do. I also just gave them some fresh pineapple. And lastly, I'm going to give them each a Ghirardelli milk chocolate caramel apple square. These taste just like those caramel apple suckers. They are delicious. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how Boston did. He did leave quite a bit of his pineapple, which kind of shocked me. He normally loves fresh pineapple, but you got to factor in they really don't get a lot of time to eat, and those non-rounds are a lot bigger than your typical Lunchable. Looks like he picked off some pepperoni, which is fine. Those are still pretty new to him. I'm happy that he eats any of them at all, and Riley ate everything, which I was happy about because normally she doesn't really care that much for pineapple. Next up, I am pulling out the kids' thermoses. We absolutely love these. They pretty much love anything that I put in them and always look forward to it. So here I'm priming the thermoses, which is very important. I just boil some water, fill it to the rim, and seal it with a lid. And I let that sit untouched from anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes at least. So I'm going to be making them some ravioli. I found this bag of round cheese ravioli in my deep freezer that I forgot that I even bought. And I'm going to pair it with this Prego spaghetti sauce. You could definitely do this the night before and just heat it up the morning of. You could also add some meat to the sauce if you want to. My kids prefer it just like this, so that's what I do. They like any type of pasta with this sauce. And now I'm just going to drain off that water, and then I'm going to add my little canning funnel to make this go a lot smoother, not make a complete mess. And I'm going to fill both of their thermoses up to the rim. We have had these same thermoses for a long, long time. I got Riley's at Target when she just started preschool, and I ordered Boston's off Amazon when he started preschool. So they both are still working really good. I will link those in the description box if you're interested. They both love the bottled Parmesan cheese on their pasta, so I'm adding a good amount to the top, and then I'm going to quickly seal those up to lock in the heat. So I'm going to get those packed up in their lunch boxes. I'm going to include a plastic fork just in case they lose the middle ones. I like to do the plastic if I can. I'm also going to give them each a Halloween themed Go-Gurt. I know a lot of people like to freeze these. My kids don't like to eat them that way, although I'm sure they would be partially thawed out by lunchtime. I was actually out of fresh fruit this morning. Mom fell, I guess, but I just grabbed some fruit cups from the pantry. Boston's got a peach parfait, and Riley's is like peaches and a strawberry jello. And then I'm going to give them each a chocolate chip granola bar by Great Value. And then if you haven't noticed, their go-to drink is the Fruit Punch Capri Suns. The kids are back from school. Let's go ahead and check those boxes. Boston ate everything. I desperately need to clean out his lunchbox, and Riley also ate everything as well. Okay, so this was the last lunch before the kids went on a week-long fall break. So I'm just kind of using up what I have. So I have these beef hot dogs in the freezer, and I have these tortillas in the fridge that really needed used up. So I don't typically cut the kids' hot dogs in half at home, but just the paranoid mom and me got a little nervous thinking about them eating these at school with a table full of their friends cutting up. I was just a little nervous about choking, so just went ahead and cut those in half real quick. And the tortillas that I use, you do have to cook them first, so I just quickly cooked those for a few seconds in the skillet. And I did take a pizza cutter and cut off the sides so that the hot dog could kind of hang out and it wasn't like too much tortilla. So I'm just tightly wrapping those up. I love that these are very, very few ingredients. I am going to be frying these up. So I'm just adding a thin layer of oil to coat the bottom of my skillet, and once it was nice and hot, I'm adding these in same side down to kind of seal them, and I'm just going to fry those for a couple of minutes on each side until it all looks nice and golden brown. I did let those drain on a paper towel lined plate, and I didn't show it, but I did sprinkle them with a little bit of salt. So of course I'm going to give one for each kid, and I am going to throw in a packet of ketchup for Riley since she likes to dip her hot dogs in ketchup. Boston doesn't use any sauces on his food. And I'm also going to split a banana between the two, and I kind of wanted to show y'all the inside to show y'all that these are good despite what the outside looks like. I know some people get offended if bananas aren't like perfectly yellow on the outside, but to me at this stage I feel like they are at their best because they're a lot sweeter, but to each their own. And then I had this block of Colby Jack cheese in my fridge. And of course, all those tortillas that I cut off got stuck to it, but we're just going to pretend that didn't happen. I did go ahead and cube that cheese up. It's very loud at my house right now. I don't know if you can hear that. But I gave them each a good handful of that cube cheese. And I bought this candy corn fun mix at the dollar store. And I figured the kids would like that. So it's just a small bag. And I split that between the two. It's got some peanut butter filled pretzels, chocolate covered pretzels, and some candy corn. So figured that would be fun. And again, I gave them another Halloween themed Go-Gurt. And of course, they each get a Capri Sun. Y'all, I didn't even realize that I had switched up the kids' bent-go boxes. I did not know until I picked the kids up from school, and that was the first thing that Riley said. She's like, "Why did you give me Boston's lunchbox?" I was so confused, but I guess I needed this fall break as much as they did. But both kids ate absolutely everything, and they both said that they loved the little hot dog roll-up, so I was happy that they enjoyed it. So that is all I got for y'all for today's video. I really do hope that it was helpful. If you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.